Hello scholars, welcome back. We're looking at the least common multiple. What is the least common multiple? The least or lowest common multiple of a given set of numbers is the smallest multiple that all three numbers can go into. Alright, let me read that again. The least or lowest common multiple of a given set of numbers is the smallest multiple that all three numbers can go into. So basically, we're asked to list all the multiples and see the smallest one, the least, the lowest number that all three of the given factors can go into. So it's a common multiple in that sense. It's a shared multiple. All of them have that multiple, and we're looking for the smallest common multiple that they have. So it could mean that they have other numbers that they all can go into, but we are only interested in the smallest one. As you go further, you'll realize why. Why do we just want the smallest multiple? When we go further, and you can watch the videos on fractions, adding, subtracting fractions, you'll realize, and there are other reasons too, why we're focusing on the least common one, the lowest common multiple. So we can, you see, when you practice this over time, you won't have to be listing out the factors. But since we're just starting off on this, we are actually going to be listing out the multiples of these numbers and then trying to identify which ones are common and which is the least common, the smallest of the common multiples, right? So let's look at 1, 2, and 3. Let's actually list out the first set of multiples of 1, 2, and 3 until we find a common multiple. So we know for the 1 is going to be 1. So basically we're listing out the timetables, right? Until we find one that's common to all of them. So for the 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can stop after a certain number and check to see if you've passed the common multiple. So 3, 6, 9. So let's look. Is there any number that is common to all three? Is there any number that you see in all three of the listed multiples? Well, I see that there's a 6, 6, 6. And it's the smallest one, it's the first one that's common to them. So we would say the lowest common multiple of 1, 2, and 3 is 6. Alright, so about the 2, 4, and 8. Start with the biggest one so that you'll know quicker if you find a common multiple. So for the 8, 8, 16, 24. Let's stop there a little. 4, 8, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So already I'm seeing the 8 popping up in all three. It's the first common one that pops up in all three. So we would say the least common multiple for 2, 4, and 8 is 8. 2, 4, and 8 can all divide into 8. How about 3, 4, and 6? 6, 12, 18, 4, 8, 12, 16. So we're listing the timetables, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. So you can see that 12 is popping out. 12 is common. It's the first one that's common to all three. So the least common multiple of 3, 4, and 6 is 12. How about the 2 and 5? So we have 5, 10, 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Alright, so we find the 10. The least common multiple is 10. For the 4 and the 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 4, 8, 16, 20, 25. Do you see it yet? It's the 20. 20 is the least common multiple of 4 and 5. 20 is the smallest number that 4 and 5 can go into at the same time. So we have 6 and 8. We do the bigger one first because that way we'll see the LCM quicker. So for the 8 is 8, 16, 24, 32. For the 6, 6, 1, 6, 6, 2 is 12, 6, 3 is 18, 6, 4 is 24. Do we see any yet? The 24. 24 is the least common multiple of 8 and 6. Alright, so we have 3 to go. The 1, 3, and 9. So the 9 times table is 9, 18, 27, 36, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Do we see any yet? Okay, so we see a 9, and we know 1 can go into every number, so we know that the 9 is going to be up here somewhere, right? 1 can go into every number. So the 9 then would be the least common multiple. 4, 8, and 16. Now mark you, there are other methods of finding the least common multiple. I'm going to show you another method that's not as tedious as this one. I wanted to show you this one so you can grasp the concept more, what we're actually doing. We're listing out the multiples and seeing the smallest one that's common. In the next video, I'm going to show you a method of finding the least common multiple by, it's a kind of factorizing, right, at this level. So check out that video. But for now, let's just continue. So we have 16, 32, 48, 8, 16, 24, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Or do we see any as yet? That's common to all three. The 16. 16 is the LCM. The LCM of 4, 8, and 16 is actually 16. And finally, 7, 14, and 21. So that's 21, 42. You can go and check this one, right? 63. Multiply it by 1, multiply it by 2, multiply it by 3 to get the multiples. So that's 14, 28, 42. 3, 4 is 12, 3, 1 is 3. So that's 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Wow. So we finally found it. Okay, 42. Alright, so the LCM of 7, 14, and 21 is 42. So remember to check out that video. I'm going to show you a shortcut, right? An easier way of finding the least common multiple. But if all else fails, this won't fail you. List out your multiples. The first one that you see present in all 3 or all 2 or all 4, whichever number of factors you were given, that is your least common multiple. Alright? So to recap, the least or lowest common multiple, which is abbreviated LCM. So wherever you see LCM, that's what they're talking about. The least or lowest common multiple. The least common multiple of a given set of numbers is the smallest multiple that all 3 numbers or all 2 numbers or all 4 numbers can go into. And in this method, this simple method, we just listed out all the multiples, or at least the first set. You don't have to list every single multiple, because at some point you're going to identify the least one, maybe pretty early. For some it will take a little longer to get the common ones, right? So start with the biggest of the lot. That way it's easier. Start with the biggest. If you start with the smallest one, you might be going on and on and on and not realizing that you have actually passed the common multiple, right? The lowest one. Because remember, they might have other common multiples, but we might just want the lowest one, right? So you have to know to find the lowest one. So if you were helped, please share. Please pass it on to your classmates, your friends, so that they can benefit from it. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And please leave in the comments if you want me to look at any video, any topic, right? I'll see you in the next video.